What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching, subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, doing all the YouTube things that make YouTube such a spectacular place. Moa here. And we are back with the Magic the Gathering Arena free-to-play video series. And just like that, boys and girls, our quick draft Crimson Vow season is basically over. At least the first half is. We've got a couple more days. So, we're going to do one today, maybe another one or two, and then we will get back to the constructed videos. Have some awesome stuff coming that I think you guys are going to love. But anyway, Crimson Vow Quick Draft still left for at least 2 more days, so let's hop right in. Alright, pack one, pick one. We are going to rare draft Hopeful Initiate. Is it good or not? I don't know, and I guess I hope to not find out. The training cards just overall haven't been good. 1-drops are good in this format, but I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look at the rest of the pack, and holy cow. Bleed Dry, Wolf Strike, Kesset Flame Breather, Chill from the Grave, even Cradle Safe. So many playable cards here. The statue, I feel like. Wow. Yeah, so this pack is stacked. Hope to wheel something good, and let's move on. And then there's this pack. Wow, this is horrific. Straight up nothing I really want to pick. The rare is missing, so we can't take that. Of course it is, because the arena bots are drafting rares at a higher than average rate in order to screw free-to-play players. Wait, what? What just happened there? What did I say? I'm sorry, I blacked out for a second. I don't remember what I said. Anyway, let's look at this pack. So, the 3-2 draw a card when it comes into play if you control a human. I mean, just not where I want to be. The wolf guy's not where I want to be. Yikes. Scattered Thoughts is where I want to be, but you don't ever want to second pick it. Chill of the Grave, same thing. I guess it's Fierce Retribution here. I don't know. The humans deck is fine. I've gotten destroyed by it. Maybe I should just take that. And also my first pick is a human, so maybe that was the correct pick. But I'm going to take Fierce Retribution. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know where I want to be. Yeah, whatever. Meh. Okay, so immediately punished for not taking Resistance Squad. White seems pretty open. There's some decent white cards in this pack, some mediocre black cards in this pack. Haven't seen much blue or green, really. So, yeah, I guess grab the Resistance Squad here. The problem is there's no chance it wheels, but from the second pack. But I'm going to grab it now, and hope to see some more, I guess. Again, not exactly where I want to be, but I have seen this deck come together very well at times, so maybe we can do that. Alright, pack 1, pick 4, super easy. Imprisonment, obviously. It's the only white card in the pack, and it's very good. And I don't want to go all Ben S on you and super belabor the point, but I've said this quite a bit in comments and stuff, and on the video last week, the draft video last week. But this format rewards you greatly, more than any I can remember, ever, for staying in one color or getting as deep in one color in the first pack as you possibly can. And there's tons of reasons for that, but mostly it's because of all the bombs and stuff you'll see later on. And you just need to solidify that one color and then figure out where your lane is down the road, right? So you can, when you get, a bunch of white cards, start pack 1 with like 9 white cards or 7 or 8 playable white cards, right? Now, when you get to pack 2, obviously if you open an off-color bomb, you can just take it and build your deck around it. But also these lanes will just show up where all of a sudden you'll see 2 or 3 wolf strikes and Weaver Blossoms, right? In a span, and like, whoa, okay, so it's green. Even if it's not bombs, it's like, wow, this green is white open, so I'm gonna grab that. So those two aspects combined with the fact that basically every color pair is playable in this format, makes it so that you're really, really rewarded for sticking with one color as long as you can, as deep into pack one in one color as you can get, and then that's why you don't want to move for anything. You don't want to move out for anything. You know, it would have to be something really great, is my point. Like, if it's a close between a mediocre, you know, card in your color, playable, decent, but not great, versus like an excellent card or a decent card in another color, you know, you should stick with your color. Generally speaking, of course, like, you know, if it's a pick 8 bleed dry, you know, then obviously would take that over, whatever Drug Skull Infantry or whatever, right? So, and there's always exceptions, but that's generally the basic rule of this format, and I think being successful in this format. Not that I've been super successful, but I know from watching a bunch of content creators and listening to podcasts about the format that that's basically where all the good players tend to wind up. All right, so, again, not to belabor the point of what is a super duper easy pick, but just wanted to throw that out there. And immediately, this is one of those spots we were just talking about, right? Where we have Traveling Minister, which is certainly playable, but I don't know. I mean, in the human stack, I mean, maybe it's fine. I think it's good in the white black life gain and white blue flyers a little bit, but I don't love it. I'm fine taking it and playing it, but that is a Flame Blessed Bolt, and for me, that's equivalent of the pack the scenario I just talked about, where it's like Drog Skull Infantry when you have all white versus like pack 9 bleed dry or whatever, right? So definitely going to take this bolt here. I always want to be in red. I love red. I think it's the best color. I even love that vampire epic here thing. If we wield that, it would be fine. So, yeah, I'm going to grab this and speculate that maybe some red will be open. Hopefully it is, right? And I'm not giving up much by just missing out on a Traveling Minister in the event that this is not any kind of signal. So let's take that. I think pretty easy for me and move on. All right, here Ancestor versus Belligerent Geist, or excuse me, Belligerent Guest, versus even the blue card draw spell. There's blue in this pack, the card draw spell and the Siphon Essence that I do like, but I think I'm just going to continue to stay in white for now. Grab the Ancestor. It's good. It's not the best if you're playing a super aggressive strategy, but Guess I do like Guess a little bit, but I don't think it's kind of worth taking here. So cards in every color basically that are playable, but I'm gonna stay on white for now and grab that. All right, here I'm gonna grab another Ancestor and hopefully wheel one of these other cards, either the Celebrant moving a red or the Traveling Minister. All right, here, third Kindly Ancestor. I don't think we care that much. I'm going to grab the Reckless Impulse because it's one of my favorite red cards to play if we pick up some Flame Breathers and Instants and Sorceries. Yeah, I mean, I don't like where this deck is so far, and I kind of want to pivot out of it just because we have a few cards like Fierce Retribution, a couple Kindly Ancestors that feel defensive, and then Imprisonment goes in both aggressive and defensive decks, and then some cards that feel like they could be aggressive, like Initiate and Resistance Squad. So I don't like where this deck is going right now. So if we can move into red, I'm going to try to. Alright, Fearful Villager is fine here. Very good card to pick up the Kindly Ancestors, the Disturb backside of it to give it Menace plus Lifelink. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's fine. Not in love with it, but definitely playable. Alright, nothing here. I'm going to grab Scattered Thoughts. And you know what's funny is after starting with like 5-6 white cards in a row, blue-red spells is not off the table. We do need to find some Flame Breathers. But if we do, I mean, we could totally end up there. We saw a lot of like Essences and Scattered Thoughts in the first pack. So we'll see. Going to grab that here. Not giving up anything of value, so it's fine. Alright, we're going to take this dumb rare, another meh. God, everyone's opening bombs in this format, and I'm getting this guy. Anyway, we're going to grab it. Nothing. We're not actually missing out on much of anything. I would like the Raconteur or the Waltzer or the 2-2. Those cards are good, and the Flyer. So, yeah, I mean, definitely could wheel one of those. And then there's also the Blue Flyer in the event that we somehow end up red-blue. And then, of course, there's a Wolf Strike, which is great, but that'll be long gone by the time the pack gets back to us. So, yeah, at least we're not giving up much to rare draft here. Alright, here, Circle of Confinement versus Flame Blessed Bolt. And it's one of the removal spells, I think, pretty clearly. I'm going to grab the Flame Blessed Bolt here because I just... first of all, it's a much better card. It's one of the best cards in the format. But also, I want to be in red. I've said this before. And I just feel like my red... We've gotten to the point where my red is better than my white now. 2 bolts, the Epic here, you know I love that card. Impulse, Fearful Village, or even Bloody Betrayal. In my spells deck, I don't mind playing a copy or two if the build warrants it. And, you know, I don't care about these dumb Kindly Ancestors and stuff, and Hopeful Nishan, and Resistance Squad. We didn't get the second one. Imprisoment's obviously great, but yeah, I'm gonna grab the Bolt here and consider the switch to red basically on, hoping to see some more. All right, Quartermaster is great. Waltzer looks like it'll be great for us, but my tendency has been removal over creatures and try to lower the curve at all times, so I'm going to grab Imprisonment here. And hopefully wheel one of those. So I definitely like Lacerate Flesh more than most. I play it a lot, and I probably prioritize it in spots where I shouldn't. But for me, this is a pretty clear impulse. I'm really trying to lower the curve. Hope to wheel the Epic Gear or the Flash or even the Pummeler. This is the spot in the draft where about halfway through we'll start to filter out the cards I'm not going to play, look at the curve more. And you'll notice I do that here. There's not a lot in this deck in this pack for us that we would grab, so I think it's pretty easy. 2-2, 2-mana 2-2. It's not the best one, but definitely we want to grab some of those. So again, lower the curve, get more aggressive, and you'll see me do that here, sort things out, and get to the point where I'm like, hey, you know, we could cut some of these bigger cards and just like try to lower the curve, maybe grab another impulse or two, and really have an aggressive streamlined deck, which is where we're headed. I like the direction after this pick where the deck is going a lot more than I did halfway through the first pack. I feel like we have a much better plan now. Raconteur versus Flame Breather. Where I'm at is I almost always take Raconteur over it just because it's rarer, so you see them a lot less, obviously. But, you know, and it does more damage. Flame Breather is cheaper, obviously. I think, however, here, given our lack of 2-drops and the fact that it's much cheaper, first Flame Breather is probably better than first Raconteur, especially given like what we have. Though I should say we don't have any 4-drops, so Raconteur is like a curved hopper in an aggressive red-white deck. Sounds like an awesome place to be. So I don't know. It could go either way here. Leave comments if you like one or the other in particular, or you have thoughts about this pick. But for me, I'm going to grab Flame Breather, though generally I do take Raconteur over it. Wow, super late Hero's Downfall in a draft where we really haven't seen any black passed. So that's strange. All right, so here is the kind of line in the sand we have to draw. I did this last draft. I talked about this moment, and where we go from, do we want Lacerate Flesh, which I like, but I know a lot of people don't, versus Epic here, and I go back and forth in this, but then ultimately I decide that I'm going to grab the Epic here. You guys should be proud of me. This is the moment where I'm like, all right, I always take the removal, but the slow, clunky removal, though we certainly would play Lacerate Flesh in this deck, obviously, but I don't know. I just want to get that Vampire, get on the board, get some damage in, and I like where this deck is headed, so I'm going to grab the cheaper card, and who knows, maybe even wheel or grab a Lacerate Flesh later. Okay, well, that last pack ran out pretty well for us. We grabbed a third Epic here, another 2-drop, a Raconteur. I don't know if that's the one we wheeled or not. And even Bloody Betrayal, which I think is super playable in this deck if you have the right configuration. So let's talk about this pack. It's basically, another crap rare in a color we're not playing. So yeah, this draft has not been amazing in terms of the rares, but the good news is, like the last pack, basically all our first packs is that like we can take this without feeling like we're giving up much at all. I would take probably Ancestral Anger or the Wolf. I think I would just take Ancestral Anger here, so certainly there's a chance that will. So we'll just grab this rare, and yeah, these packs have been so mediocre. Good lord. Wow, yeah. So there's just almost no good cards at all in this pack. There's some black playables. Pointed Discussion's fine. Undying Malice is fine. What is that? Blood Gray Socialite or whatever. That's fine. Yeah. So obviously there's no rare in the pack. Again, don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but the rares seem to be drying up in the quick drafts. It seems like you just don't get past many of them. I don't know. I feel like at the beginning of formats, it's like I get 5, 6, 7 rares in a draft, and now it's just none. But again, these packs continue to be absolutely miserable. I guess we take Sure Strike. It's Sure Strike versus Adamant Will for us. Sure Strike is fine. It's good in the aggressive decks, obviously. It's good with Flame Breather, obviously. Will is fine too, but I guess Sure Strike. Yeah, Sure Strike and move on. This is bad. All right, Flame Blessed Bolt number 3, and hope to wheel Raconteur or one of the white cards. All right, so this spot is interesting. I feel like this is the great spot to grab Lacerate Flesh. Here's the thing. I hadn't played with Markov Waltzer, and I don't know, maybe it's amazing. It looks really great. I found that we didn't draw it much, and when I did, spoiler, it just didn't have much of an effect on the game. I mean, it gets in for 2 a lot. But I don't know. It just wasn't. Maybe had I carved out and played it on 4 more often, it would have been better. But I feel like we didn't draw it or play it much, and then it didn't impact the game much. So in retrospect, I would grab Lacerate Flesh. However, at the time, I grabbed the Markov Waltzer, and I feel like, I don't know, man, this card looks like it should be really good, but maybe it just isn't that good. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about it. But it kind of has a bomby look to it, but that's not how it played out, at least for me. So I'll need more reps with it. I just didn't, like I said, we didn't play it much in the draft portion, so, or in the gameplay portion, so, whatever. We'll see how it looks going forward. Okay, so this is the final deck. There were really no close decisions over the last part of Pack 3, so didn't really comment on those. I am thrilled with how that ran out for us. Very lucky. That last half of Pack 3 really did great. We grabbed 2 Flame Breathers and wheeled the Ancestral Anger and the Raconteur. So we went from a crappy red spells deck to just what looks like it could be an amazing deck. That was pretty fortunate. However, we saw crap the entire rest of the draft, so I feel like it kind of all evens out, right? All comes out in the wash. Final version of this deck. I love this deck. I think it should be super duper consistent and aggressive. Because of all the 2-ofs and 3-ofs that we have, we should see a lot of consistent draws. Epicure, 3 Epicures is great, and we'll be able to filter. We have a good amount of blood generation, so we'll be able to filter and stuff. Definitely like this deck. If I could make one kind of change, and this is with the benefit of hindsight, of course, is take out the Waltzer, and I wish I grabbed another 3-drop, either a Belligerent Guest or the Fearful Villager, or maybe even a Lacerate Flesh instead, but the curve stops at 4. Yeah, I just think this deck is great and should be consistent and aggressive. So this is where you want to be when you don't have good cards and didn't open any bombs. So, all right, thank you for watching, everybody. Please enjoy the gameplay, and then stay till the end to check out my stats from the first half of the draft season, to check out the rares and mythics and win rates and all that fun stuff. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. I'm going to include the gameplay. There was not a lot of insightful, thoughtful gameplay going on, so I didn't feel like the need to commentate it. I should say to commentary. That doesn't make sense. All right, but thank you for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week with some constructed videos. I have some stuff on deck that I think everyone's going to like. So, all right, thank you, and bye.